So around in about May 2023, I had my little side hustle ventures. I did affiliate marketing on TikTok. I had some Amazon products that I tried to sell. I think it was some self-improvement books. I did some slideshows with David Goggins, like pictures and quotes. Then I had my fucking affiliate link to his book Can't Hurt Me in my bio. I basically told people to buy. And long story short, I made literally zero money, like $5 or some shit. And I tried some TikTok dropshipping. I tried to order some fucking widgets from Amazon. And I tried to fucking make some videos about it and get people to buy, right? But the thing what happened is that my daily schedule went something like this. I woke up and I ate some breakfast. I went to school. I came home again. I tried to do some business work. That's when I tried to do my fucking dropshipping stuff, right? And then I went to the gym. And then I came home and basically like consumed a little bit of content and then went to bed, right? But the thing is that when I came home from school every single day and tried to work, my productivity was absolute garbage. Like, it was so hard to actually like focus and actually get shit done. Like, I used to come home, I told myself that I was gonna do some fucking work, but I ended up just fucking consuming, just rationalizing some fucking content consumption. Went to the fucking couch and fucking binge watch some fucking self-improvement content. And I'd heard about like working directly after waking up, like fasting in the morning, just waking up and working, nothing else, no eating, no doing a bunch of shit that's going to fucking mentally fatigue you, just getting up and working, right? And I tried it, right? And I woke up a little bit earlier. I woke up at 6 instead of 7, I think. I did a few hours, like 1 or 2 hours of deep work, of focused, relentless work. And I got much more fucking work done, right? But, like, long story short, I didn't actually make like any money, basically. But my input was significantly higher, right? My productivity was fucking put on steroids. And like, at least in comparison to when I literally just came home and did like 10 minutes of work and then got distracted. And my brain was just much more sharper, right? I could think much better, and I could actually focus. I wasn't fucking distracted. There wasn't any bullshit thoughts in my mind that fucking plagued me, right? And one of the like key concepts that I want to teach you in this story is the concept of brain points. So brain points, you can imagine in a video game you have like XP, right? And you can imagine XP for your brain, for your mental capacity, for your actual like focus, for your work, your output, right? Like for mental work, for knowledge work, which is essentially what the internet has allowed us to do, right? So you can also imagine brain points as the currency for focus. So when you're focusing on anything, you're trading focus for brain points, which means that you're not gonna have like unlimited focus throughout your day. Like each day you get new brain points, right? And like you are expending brain points right now focusing on this video, right? And essentially all mental activities or any input that your brain receives drains your brain points. Like, for example, like mental tasks like this, like what the fuck I'm doing right now. I'm recording videos. Like, if I were to record this video 10 times and expend a bunch of energy doing it, it would be much harder for me to keep up the quality as I did it, because I would just be more fucking mentally fatigued, and overall the quality would diminish. So thinking overall, literally just thinking about thoughts, drains your brain points. Is not a lot, of course. Like, it depends on how deep the thoughts are and how much mental like capacity you're actually expending. But in general, you don't really want to be thinking or doing stuff like actually having it in your mind, like stuff that doesn't matter, right? It seems like common sense, but I promise you, unless you've been nailing this topic recently with brain points and with like your attention, like guarding your attention, it's actually fucked up for you, right? So the 3 biggest like things that drain your fucking attention and your brain points are as follows. So the first one is solving problems. So with solving problems, you're trying to calculate what is the best move for myself to do right now, what is actually going to solve the problem, what is the missing piece. And that requires a fuck ton of mental energy. Like, for example, in school, like I think that was one of the most, or not think, I'm very sure that one of the absolute biggest factors to me not being able to focus when I came home from school in the afternoons when I did my fucking dropshipping stuff was that in school I'd been like trying to solve a bunch of problems and expended a bunch of mental energy, right, with all these fucking math problems that go like it's 100 different things you gotta calculate, like that aren't even related to your work at all, right? So that things drain my fucking brain points a lot. and it's probably draining yours too right now, unless you're actually like, you're being aware of this, you're being mindful, and you're actually putting your deep work where before going to school, for example, and which is actually one of the best things that you can do, in my opinion. You put your deep work, your most focused, relentless business work before school, like the tasks that are actually like going to yield you anything, like the 80-20 rule, you know, the Pareto's principle. The best like most mentally fatiguing tasks, you put them before like school, if you go to school, right? So that's my absolute tip for you, which is what I do myself, right? For example, this morning I've been practicing the script for this video so I can like deliver it much better in front of the camera, and now I'm recording. I haven't eaten anything. I just woke up and did that shit, nothing else. Nothing is fucking infiltrating my mind. No other bullshit thoughts like from high school or some shit, or some math problem is stuck in my mind and it's not distracting me, right? But if you cannot put it in the morning, for example, if you start school extremely early and you need to stay up until like 10 p.m. or some shit, then I would try to put it between like from around 5 to 7, and that would be ideally like you go to school and then you go straight to the gym or something, you train, and then you go home and then you do your deep work before you have eaten, right? Because if I were to do my deep work on another like time period when it's not in the morning, that will be it, like after training but before eating. Because eating is just like digesting food in your body is just going to fuck everything up more, right? You know, this like intermittent fasting and all that stuff. And what I found is that physical activities actually they actually aid you and support you when it comes to like fucking trying to do work, mental work. At least it's at least much better than food. Because what I found is that when I do a bunch of like relentless training and then I try to work, that works much better than me just doing it like after having consumed content or some shit, or let's say I've eaten a big meal or some shit. So that's what I would do. I would train, then do deep work, and then eat, right? Then the second biggest thing that is draining your brain points are decisions, like making decisions all day long. So there's something called decision fatigue. Just let me correct my posture. I recommend you do the same thing, bro. So there's something called decision fatigue. So it's essentially that when you are forced to make a bunch of decisions after one another in your day, then it's just gonna be mentally fatiguing, and overall the quality of decisions that you actually make is gonna be worse after you've made a fuck ton of them, right? So what we want to do with decisions to prevent it from stealing our brain points, like occupying mental real estate, like space in our mind, like when we're trying to work, because we want to reserve those for when we work, right? We want to make long-lasting decisions. So a long-lasting decision is something that I learned from this guy called Sam Ovens, right? And the thing that long-lasting decisions make or do is that they allow you to make the decision once and keep getting rewarded for it into eternity. So for example, if you were to decide when to eat today, 3 times a day or 4 times a day, and what to eat today, that is like fucking, let's say 6 to 8 different fucking peon, but who cares, right? That is 6 to 8 different decisions that you have to make, right? And that is every single day, like 6 to 8 decisions every single day. Or you could just do the 6 to 8 decisions like once and set it in stone, like literally tell yourself, like, these are the times that I'm going to eat, like for the rest of my life, or at least like for the foreseeable future, right? And you're gonna save yourself like time every single day. And one thing that greatly facilitates this is creating your own timetable. So you probably heard about timetables, like as a productivity hack, and it's like it actually works. It's absolutely one of the best things that I do right now that fucking boosts my productivity a fuck ton, right? And it's essentially that you plan your day out before. And you could, for example, one very good thing you can do right now is to just go onto Google Calendar and literally have your whole week, like you see your whole week, right, in Google Calendar. And then you fill out the time blocks for certain activities. You allocate certain time periods to certain activities, and then you don't have to decide what to do at that time. You set your sleep schedule, when you're gonna eat, and then the other tasks like in your fucking schedule, right? And then you can just look at your timetable. You don't need to worry about decision fatigue overall. You could simply look at your timetable and actually have the things that you're gonna do in front of you, right? And dude, like, it's absolutely and utterly one of the best things that I've done. Like, I cannot emphasize this enough, bro. Like, timetables, like, it's literally a cheat code, bro. Like, you'd be a fool not to fucking take this advice, man. At least try it. Like, it seems like it could seem like a bit extreme or over the top to have this regimented like routine of things, but like, and like, don't you want to be extreme? Don't you want to be a bit over the top? Don't you want to be an extraordinary I can't even speak today, an extraordinary individual, like an exceptional individual, right? Do you want to be that or not? Then you shouldn't be fucking scared of like acting in that way, of course, bro, right? Then the last thing that drains brain points a fuck ton is irrelevant thoughts, like indulging in irrelevant thoughts. Like, you probably found yourself like on the bus towards school or some shit, to the gym, just thinking about some bullshit from high school or some other stuff that's not even related to your work at all, but you're simply indulging in it, right? You're thinking about it, and that has happened to me quite a lot, man. Like, I'm a quite calculative guy. I tend to calculate things and try to plan everything out and analyze everything. So what has happened a lot is that I literally sit in my mental aid stations. Like, mental aid station is something that I got from David Goggins, and it's essentially the times when you're not actually like grinding. So for example, on the bus, when you're eating, when you're having a shit or something like that, when you're trying to fall asleep, like you're in your bed, and in your mental aid stations, right? And in the mental aid stations, I like literally, like, a lot of the times I fell into the indulgence of the irrelevant thoughts, and it stayed in my mind. It's sticky. Like, when I think about something for 20 minutes straight on the bus towards school or some shit, that's just, it's gonna be stuck in my mind, and it's going to distract me when I'm trying to do more important things. So you don't want to be indulging in irrelevant thoughts, and the way you prevent that is through meditation. So meditation, you've probably heard about it a lot, right? You think about something, and then your mind wanders, and then you bring your focus back to the original thought, right? That's one rep, one cycle. So there are two main types of meditation for this. So the first one is what I call deliberate meditation, when you're literally sitting, you have your eyes closed, and you're breathing, and you're perhaps focusing on your breath, and whenever your mind wanders, you bring it back, right? And that you get better over time. And then the other one is what I call stacked meditation. So it's essentially that you stack meditation on top of everything else you do in your day. Like, for example, if I'm like right now, I'm recording this video, and if I get some bullshit irrelevant thoughts, I will deliberately like turn my attention back to this video, which is what I'm doing right now, right? And that is also meditation. It's not as powerful as the deliberate one, but it's something to be utilized. Like, ideally, you want to be in a meditative state for as long as you can throughout the day, right? Like, actually being focused on the task at hand. Then there are a few things that can actually that can boost the amount of brain points that you actually have throughout your day, right? For example, if you start your day off with 100 brain points, wouldn't it be nice if you start off your day with 200 brain points, right? Of course it would. And the thing that's gonna boost your brain points are your health, right? For example, your sleep, your diet, or your sunlight, your exercise. Like, you could study Andrew Huberman. He's absolutely fucking fantastic channel, to be honest. I would definitely recommend him, Andrew Huberman on YouTube, right? And like, in my opinion, the greatest lever that you can pull when it comes to specifically health and brain points is sleep. So I dedicate 10 hours a night to sleep, right? And I tend to fall asleep relatively slowly, right? About on average, like an hour or some shit, right? And I'm also trying to grow as well. I'm only 16, right? And so I dedicate a lot of time to sleep. And I would recommend you dedicate 9 to 10 hours as well to sleep, because it just, like, if you are working for 10 hours and sleeping for 6 hours, then it will be much smarter to just sleep for 7 hours and work for 9 hours, or even 8 hours and 8 hours. Like, like, the more you work, the more you should, in my opinion, and in my experience, you should prioritize getting more sleep in, right? So that's basically it, man. Position your deep work where before you have to like solve big problems, like in school, for example. The best case scenario, you do it straight after waking up, like myself. And then with decisions, you want to create a timetable and you want to have long-lasting decisions overall, so you don't have to, like, you're not prone to decision fatigue, right? And then the third bro, like the third thing is to stop indulging in irrelevant thoughts, and you do this by meditation, that we discussed. And then the fourth thing, you can boost your brain points through health, and specifically, in my opinion, sleep a fuck ton, like 9 to 10 hours in bed, like, because if you want 8 hours of sleep and you wake up at 6, then if you go to bed at 10, that's not 8 hours of sleep, that's 8 hours of bed, right? If you want to get 8 hours of sleep and you wake up at 6, you realistically have to go to bed like from around 8 to 9 p.m. because you're not going to be falling asleep like that, and you're probably going to wake up during the night, right? So I would say around 9 to 10 hours of sleep per night, right?